afternoon presentation today will be on Code of Ethics, in which I'll talk briefly about fairness. And then we'll move at 1 o'clock, we'll move to the breakout sessions that you chose either on intentional strategic strategies or activities, or you chose the one on the learning targets. And then after we get back in at 2:30, we'll come back in here, well, we'll be already in here, some of us. At 2:30, we'll do our Padlet shares based on the QR codes, okay? First of all, in my opinion, the fairness definition, and I did do a little research as far as on the definitions and so forth, and this is what I believe, that fairness is demonstrating impartial, unbiased, and equitable treatment of others. It means taking turns, and we're talking about students, even if we're talking about ourselves, sharing and listening to what others say without judgment. Words that come to mind when I think of fairness is being open-minded, justice, treating everyone with respect, equity, consequences, not being prejudiced, favoritism. That always plays into factor. When someone's showing favoritism, automatically we tend to think, hey, that's not fair. So, and then you also want to make sure that you're very consistent in what you do. Certain, tolerance, and impartiality. Those are just some words that came to mind, just brainstorming there. Okay? What I want you to do now, I'm going to give you some quotes, and depending on what table you're sitting at, I want you to look at that quote, and you're going to briefly share out with your table on what that quote speaks out to you. You'll look at the number that's beside the quote. Like if you're at table 1, it says, fairness is not an attitude. It is a professional skill that must be developed and exercised. If you're sitting at table 2, you will talk briefly about treating others with fairness and dignity is the rain that helps them grow and be fruitful. Or if you're table 3, you'll talk briefly with your table on fair isn't everybody getting the same thing. Fair is everybody getting what they need in order to be successful. So if you will, just take about a minute and table talk with that. And you can write on. Okay, fist to 5. Do y'all need more time to discuss? 1 minute. Okay. If you will, just a spokesperson, just quickly and briefly, we're going to talk about number 1. What did your table mainly discuss? If there's someone at your table who would share out what came to mind on that first quote?
that it's something that we have to work at, because I think that as humans, sometimes we just naturally are drawn to certain students or even certain adults. We just naturally get along with certain people better than we do with other people because of our personality and because of their personality. So, we have to work at getting along with everybody and being fair to everybody, no matter if it's easy for us or not.
You're exactly right. Okay.
Can I add something to that, as far as the attitude, we need to understand and be realistic too, that we have underlying biases. That's just natural.
That's just natural.
So if
You're
you
right.
don't identify, or if you want to be like blinded to that and say, well, I'm not biased, yes, you are, everybody in nature is. So you have to work, you have to identify what those biases are, and then you have to work for us.
Okay, moving on to number 2, treating others with fairness and dignity is the rain that helps them grow and be fruitful. Just to piggyback on what I heard at that table, what I heard them say is, it means that you're being saturated with fairness consistently. And Ms. Kilo was mentioning that not only are you being saturated with it, but if you're being saturated with it and you're being consistent with it, it's fruitful, being that it should spread and get others to see that fairness and that respect that you have, and fairness it'll just come in line with it, okay? And then number 3, fair isn't everybody getting the same. Fair is everybody getting what they need to be, and need in order to be successful. And I want to share on that one.
Go ahead.
Be ready.
Well, we had different ideas of, as far as discipline and learning, that can go for both, because in discipline, you can't, sometimes the same tailored thing that you do for all the students, it's not gonna work for all of them, but then the learning, he had mentioned that, there's gonna be some students that are saying, okay, how come that kid over there only has to answer 10 questions and I have to answer 15, and
Correct.
we're getting the same grade, and so.
Okay.
So even though you may make it fair for that child you've done the accommodations
Mhm.
for, the other children in the class may perceive that as being not fair.
Okay. And on this, and just to wrap it up, just watch your thoughts, because they become your words become actions, actions become your habits, and your habits become your character, and your character determines your destiny. So in everything that you do, always remember that you cannot always choose how others treat you, but you can choose how you treat others. Thank you.